Hi everybody, Big Z here. Well, it's been a while since my last video, and I want to thank all of you that watched the previous two regarding getting your CDL through a company-sponsored program and driving teams. And remember, don't drive teams. And there's a bunch of reasons why in the previous video. You can watch it if you have the time. So what's happened to me since I left CRST and Schneider? Well, I went the owner-operator route. I got my own truck and signed up with a company as an owner-operator. I can tell you that owner-operators are just glorified company drivers. Don't be an owner-operator. Go get your own authority. The amount of money that you get as an owner-operator is barely enough to pay for your truck and the fuel and the maintenance, and you still make about the same amount of money as a company driver. So why waste your time being an owner-operator? Never ever lease a truck. Never ever lease a truck from a company. They're going to give you a lousy, crappy old truck with a bunch of miles on it that needs a ton of maintenance. And then when they dispatch you, they're going to give you the crappy loads that take forever to do. Don't become an owner-operator because they have company drivers. Who are they going to give the good loads to? The company drivers. Who are they going to give the time-consuming, crazy, weirdo hour loads to? Owner-operators. Never become an owner-operator. Just go straight to your own authority. So I was an owner-operator for about 90 days. I hated every day of it. It was the worst. So they're supposed to have Saturday loads, right, for owner-operators? Baloney. If they got a bunch of loads on Saturday, they give them all to the company drivers first, and then if you're lucky enough to get one of them, it'll be the load that's got 50,000 pounds, and they're going to tax your truck to the utmost in order to pull it. And then it'll be the one that'll be the last load put on and the last load taken off. So you're going to waste all of your time just doing heavy loads, and they're cheap. And they don't pay hardly anything at all. Then the next thing about owner-operator deals is they withhold money from you that they don't need to. They call it an escrow account. Well, they can escrow this because there is no need for an escrow account for an owner-operator. They take you an extra $100 a week out, up to $2,500 for your escrow. Then your insurance as an owner-operator, yes, it's a little bit less than if you're paying your own insurance as having your own authority, but it's not that much less. So let me tell you, skip the owner-operator deal totally. Now, if you got bad credit and the only people that are going to give you the money to buy a truck is a big mega carrier, don't do it. Wait, save your money. You think it's glory days. You think the grass is greener on the other side of the owner-operator paradigm, but it's not. It's worse, because now you're responsible for all the maintenance on the truck. You're responsible for the gas. You're responsible for the oil. You're responsible for the windshield wiper fluid. You're responsible for the weight tickets. You're responsible for everything, and they don't pay you any more money. Matter of fact, they'd probably pay you less if they could get away with it. Don't become an owner-operator. Owner-operator is a terrible way to go. You're just a glorified company driver, and you're only going to make the same money, maybe even a little bit less. So don't do owner-operators. Now, I went ahead and I went in the owner-operator thing for 90 days. The reason is that I thought that was the next step from being a company driver. Next step, be an owner-operator. Now you got your own truck. Now you can call your own shots. Baloney. You can't call no shots. You got to go where they tell you to go. And yes, you can turn down loads. But when you turn down loads, well, they don't give you another load. They just wait till the next day to give you a load. So now you lost out that whole day's pay because you turned down a load. And then they start giving you the crap loads, the 40,000 pound loads. When you're driving a truck, you want to have 20,000 pound loads, 25,000 pound. Why? Fuel mileage. Fuel is 1/3 of your costs in the trucking business. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depends on your truck, but it's always a bunch. So all I can tell you is don't be an owner-operator. If you want to know more information than what I'm giving you right now, that's fine. Just, put some comments in the bottom. I'll read them. I don't have a lot of time because once you get your own authority, hey, you really own your own truck. You really do your own thing because you don't have a dispatch. You don't have any fallback for that company that can bail you out if you had a catastrophic failure on your truck. But if you buy a good truck, you're not going to have a catastrophic failure. All right, getting your own authority. First thing to do, in my opinion, is join OOIDA, Owner Operator Independent Driver Association. Now, it costs you some money to join, but here's what they do for you. They do all the paperwork for the authority. They have all of the things that you need, and they don't charge you that much. Cost me $1,000. Get my own authority. That included the $300 fee the government charges you. It included all the permit fees. It included your IFTA fees, your $22.90 fees, etc. Now, when you go to buy a truck, it is confusing because there's so many different trucks out there. International, Volvo, Mack, Kenworth, Peterbilt. I mean, on and on. There's Freightliner, Freightliner Century, Freightliner Cascadia, Kenworth T680s, Kenworth, 5 somethings. And then they got the long nose, all the W900 Kenworths, and the Peterbilt 9s, 979, etc. Well, here's the deal. If I bought a Kenworth T680, it's an aerodynamic truck. It was a 2015. It had 500,000 miles on it. I overpaid. There's no doubt about it. But guess what? I bought mine a few months ago when you're going to overpay. And you'll probably overpay right now if you're going to go buy a Kenworth or Peterbilt. And those are the only two kinds of trucks that I would recommend. Now, if you're going to go over the road, you got to get an aerodynamic truck. If you're going to only work 150 miles around where you live, well, you can go get a long nose. That's fine. But guess what? Aerodynamic truck, I get 7.5 to 8 miles per gallon, pulling 40,000 pound loads. If I'm pulling 20,000, I get over 8. A 9 is going to give you 4 or 5 on a 40,000 pound load, and maybe 5.5 on a 20,000 pound load on fuel mileage. You know what that means in bucks in your pocket? It's a bunch. You got to do the pencil to do it. Next thing is insurance. Aerodynamic trucks are cheaper on the insurance. Insurance is unbelievably expensive when you start your own authority. Just to be blunt, I spent $23,000 cash getting truck, insurance, trailer. Plus, all the little fees that go along with it, government fees, tags, inspections, tires, all of this stuff, extended maintenance agreement. I bought a lot of stuff that I may not have needed, but then again, I don't know yet because I've only been doing it for 90 days. So I bought extra stuff. You may not need it. If I had it to do over again, I'd went out and find a $10,000 truck and a $5,000 trailer and just paid cash for them, and I would have still spent the 23 grand by the time I got my tags and my fees and my everything else involved with it, permits, etc. But I would have had a paid for truck and trailer, and guess what? None of the brokers care. They do not care what kind of truck you have. They don't care what kind of trailer you have. I mean, I got an air ride vented 53-foot dry van. Well, you have opportunities to pull more loads with an air ride and with a vented trailer, but guess what? Not that many more loads, and the price difference is dramatic. I mean, it costs you $25,000 for an air ride vented 4 or 5-year-old trailer. You can buy a not junk, but a 10, 15-year-old trailer for $5,000. It'll pull just the same. You got to put wheel bearings and tires on it and brakes, but big deal. That's the only difference between them. And you can get a spring trailer, and once it's loaded, it's the same thing. They pull the same. So all I can tell you is I'm going to have another video on the truck, another video on the trailer, another video on all the paperwork that it takes to get your authority. But I'm going to tell you, save up your money. Don't just figure it's going to cost you 20, 25 grand to get your authority, and save up 20 or 25 grand. That's the way to do it. Do not be an owner-operator. Do not get the hook in your mouth. Oh, I've got to have my own truck right now. Baloney. Just wait. Now look, I started out, I went to CRST for a year. They paid for my CDL. Then I went to Schneider for, 3 months. They just gave me a little experience on hauling containers, which I thought containers was the way to go, because I saw these other guys on YouTube and they're going, oh yeah, containers. Oh yeah, go to the port, haul containers. Well, guess what? If you've been in business 18 years, sure, go haul containers. It's easy. It's simple. It's nothing. You don't have to wait on loads. It's all drop and hook. It's wonderful. But you ain't, at least the people that I'm talking to now, you haven't been in the game 18 years. So I was in the game a year and 3 months. I thought, oh, I'm going to do containers. Yeah, so I went and hauled containers as an owner-operator. Stupidest thing I've ever done. The only good thing about it was I got my truck. Whoop-de-doo. So I got a truck, and it's a nice truck, and it runs good, and I have had no maintenance problems with it, and I'm happy that I haven't. But if I had to do it over again, I'd go buy a $10,000 truck and a $5,000 trailer, and I'd go boogie. And if it broke down, hey, 2 or 3 loads would fix it, and life would be good. And you can always borrow money against a paid off truck, but you can't borrow money against a truck you owe money on. That's for sure. All right, anyway, I've spent a lot of time telling you, don't do the owner-operator thing. If you want more information, just leave a comment down below. I'll respond to you, but I am on the road. I got bills to pay. It's expensive to own a truck. But do not do owner-operator. Go get your own authority. That's the way to fly in the trucking business. Do not waste time going through the owner-operator stage. Just go company driver to your own authority. Skip the owner-operator. It's not worth the time and effort. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Subscribe if you want to. I don't even care. Tell your friends about it if you want to. I don't care. YouTube is the worst, but it's the only available institution that we have to spread some information. Next video, I'll tell you all the steps to get your operating authority and what I went through to get my truck and get my trailer and my insurance. So look again for the next episode. It may be a while. I'm on the road. Big Z, thank you for watching.